What's up, guys? Welcome back to iStraight Lendaba. It's been a while. I will say, I think the last video what we posted on the 7th of Jan, and it is currently the 30th of June, so really it has been a while, but it's kind of the first year, or first half of the year rather, done and dusted, and we have been contributing towards this challenge or this account, but I've not really been posting because I'm lazy. I really don't want to put it down to anything else other than my laziness, but I'm hoping that from now going forward we'll try to be a bit more consistent with showing what we're doing and how things have been going. I must say it's been a bit rocky to kind of start things off, and I guess that's where I'll start off. The first point, or the first thing I want to say about this video, is that the final portion being the U portion, I had wanted it to be easy equities, and the way in which I was going to do that, because I didn't, as you've seen from the last video, I didn't want to get rid of the Lobola challenge account, so I wanted to open up a secondary account with easy equities, and the best way to do that was through starting a company, opening a company and investing that way. But it's quite a long and laborious process, and it proved to be a bit too difficult, and I kind of thought, let me use this opportunity to try another product and to see how that goes. So that's what I did, and you'll see what I get to, or what I end up using in the end. But that's the first thing. Any other thing? Yeah, I don't think there's much else that we need to note. Let's get into things, and as we kind of go along the line, we'll get to see what is what. Okay, cool. And the first product is the S&P 500 product, which for us, we have chosen the Sygnia Itrix S&P 500 ETF. So far, we've contributed about 3,000 Rand, which is, for the first 6 months of the year, we've contributed 500 Rand for every month. So that's how we get to 3,000. And I'm not actually going to show you on Sygnia's platform because, number one, it is just a mess there on Sygnia's platform. I'm going to create a video speaking about Sygnia and their platform. But over and above that as well, it's kind of got account details and all of that on there, which I don't really want the internet to see. So you'll get the spreadsheet export that we get out of there. But believe you me, or trust me, this is the actual performance. And so far, the total value of what we have in Sygnia is 2,987 Rand 94 cents. And I think I'm going to throw in a disclaimer right here. We had started this in Jan, and the idea was that from that video, I was supposed to, deposit the funds in all of the different accounts at that specific time. But the truth is that it actually took a bit of time for me to actually get all of the money into here. Because first of all, Sygnia is weird. And like I said, I'm going to go into the video into greater depth. But it took a bit of time to get everything right. So not all of this money, was being deposited at the same time as the other guys. So kind of take the performance for these first 6 months as well with a pinch of salt, because of that reason, that not everything was fair and equal in this scenario. I tried, but yeah, I didn't do too well in getting things to be fair and equal. So this money isn't a true representation of the past 6 months, but let's just take it as it is. Okay, next we have got Old Mutual and their global equity fund, and for this one, it's a bit tricky again. It's tough getting this raw data information out from Old Mutual. It's been a bit hard, so I'm just showing you my statement from the first quarter, and it's from the 1st of March to the 31st of May, where you'll see I had an opening balance of about 950, which is the 1,000 from the first 2 months. I contributed 1.5 till the end of May, so that would take us up to a total of about 2.5, and then this doesn't include June, which takes us up to the total of 3,000, but I'll show you in the next page what that looks like in totality. But what I want us to look at here, number of units 57, the price of the units is about 42 Rand. This was the date, and this was the value at the time. So this actually doesn't look too bad. It's slightly below the 2.5, but it doesn't really look too horrible. And then they kind of show you what the asset allocation is here, and really there's not much else that you need to look at. According to this, we're actually up. It says the change in capital is 0.44 or 44 cents. Okay, and you'll see investment charge is that 2%, which is heavy, but yeah, that is what we're looking at here. But in actual fact, for Old Mutual, what I have actually needed to do is that I've had to come up with or sort of calculate all on my own how we're sitting today. So if you saw that side, we're on about 2.4 the value, but I actually put us today at 2,799 rand 25 cents. How we get there is that we had 57 units as of the 31st of May. The debit order goes off on the 7th of June or the 7th of every month, so I'm using that net asset value price of 41 rand per unit. So that means with 500 rand, which is what we contribute, we would get about 12 units. So you add 12 units to the already 57 that we have to get that total amount of units, and then I took the unit or the price of the unit trust today to get to this value. So if you take this almost 70 units that we have, you multiply it by the 40 odd rand that it's worth today, and that is how we arrive at the value of almost about 2,800 rand. So it's a bit of a mission to actually get to the bottom of what the actual value is at a particular time, and yeah, it does take a bit of work, which is not the greatest thing ever, but that's more or less where I put us at for now. And when we go over the final spreadsheet, you'll get to see everything all in unison. But that's the Old Mutual Global Equity Fund. Next, and again, it's going to get its own dedicated video. Instead of using Easy Equities, we actually had to use Nedbanks Online Share Trader. And I kind of want to make a disclaimer here to say that with this one, I actually add the 500 plus the cost of the account to this, so it's 570 I'm contributing for this instead of just straight up 500. So it's a bit off in the fact that you don't truly get to see what the costs are, but I felt as though if I'd added or just done the straight raw 500, we were really going to lose quite a lot to those monthly fees of 70 rand. And actually another thing that that highlights is that this is not the most efficient way to invest your 500, but like I said, this is going to get its own separate video. But basically you get to see here our SA equities, and we're invested in mainly two things. We are in Nampak and we're in York Timber, and again, it's going to get its own video of why we're in these two things. So it kind of shows you how many shares of each I have, the cost of them. Cost is there, daily move, this move is percentage, this is profit and loss in rand. So far I'm down about 300 rand, 350 on Nampak and 304 on York Timber. Okay, it's fine. This is, I believe, the percentage. So it was 15 and 26%. So it's really not been good. Bid offer, that's just what you would get if I wanted to buy more or sell. But basically what it boils down to is that the portfolio value on the individual stocks that I've chosen is 2,554 rand. So yeah, not doing so great compared to the other guys, but it is what it is. And lastly as well, we have got Franc. Franc, like I had said, is basically, or rather there's another video coming out just on Franc, but with Franc basically 100% of our allocation is going towards the JSE top 40, and how much we are on for Franc right now is 2,770 rand. So that's how we're looking right now. It's good, not great, but yeah, let's go. As I said, the contributed amount for all of these guys is 3,000, and you'll see the value for the Sygnia is looking the best. It's at 2,987 rand, which gives us a loss so far of only 12 rand, which is negative 0.4%. But again, like I said, this is not a true representation because most of this money I put in, I put in kind of like the first 1,000 I think in Feb, and then the rest happened kind of in May. It's only in June where it's now properly going all 500 a month, but yeah, we'll get into that a bit later. The Old Mutual Global Equity value is almost 2,800, meaning so far we've lost about 200 rand in value, and that is almost about 7% down, which I think is decent given how the market conditions have been recently. Yeah, so take it how you want to. Franc similarly, so almost the same as the global equity, so it's quite comparable, but it's almost about 30 rand more that we've lost here, but I see it is relatively good as well. But the worst so far, and pretty contrary to what I've been trying to say or trying to prove, is that we are down quite a bit. We've lost almost 445 Rand so far, which is almost 15% that we are down by. So it's not looking good for us here, but yeah, that's how we're standing for now. And I guess on that, I'm kind of going to go over what my thoughts are so far in this experience. And I think the first thing that I'd really like to highlight, and again, when the individual videos come out, it'll make more sense, is that investment products, particularly when you're trying to do it on your own, are not that good to actually get. A lot of the time, people have financial advisors who, assist them to get these products, and sort of, all they do is fill in the form and say sign here, and that's all that you need to do. But when you're doing it yourself, it is quite a bit of work, and it is actually quite a hindrance. And it's it's understandable to me why a lot of us actually don't end up getting these products for this exact reason, because they don't make it easy for you. It should be a lot more simpler than what they make it out to be. And it's probably why nowadays I'm grateful for the likes of your what's this called, Franc. I was bashing Franc, and I still do bash Franc, but the ease of use makes it totally worth it. Easy Equities, quite simple. It isn't, it's really not that bad to use, compared to some of the experiences that I've had. Satrix actually uses the same platform as Easy Equities, and it's quite simple to use that as well. So what I will say is that I understand a lot more now than I did maybe before I did this challenge, that they make it quite hard for you to invest on your own. They really want you to involve as many middlemen as possible, and what you get for that convenience is that you lose quite a bit of money over time. But I think in the long run it is worth it to go direct. It's just an uphill battle, and that maybe discourages a lot of people. Next thing is, the market has been bad. We all have been hearing about how inflation is high. Reserve Bank keeps increasing rates. Similarly, the Fed in the US is also increasing rates. So people no longer have that free money to be throwing around into the stock market, and to be investing speculatively into companies. And this is kind of where we're getting to see what are good quality companies, what really was just being pumped up by the market. So I think this is a good time, and kind of going back to that adage that we'd spoken about, where time in the market is better than timing the market, because it's a really bad time right now, and this is probably where a lot of people are thinking either it's time to sell out of my investments and stop doing this, or others are thinking we finally reached the bottom, let's pump or put as much as we can. But no one truly knows where the bottom is. This could just be a stop on the way to the bottom, where the market currently is at, and it could get a whole lot worse. So I think our strategy, or the key thing to do here, is to keep investing the same amount, come rain come shine, invest the exact same amount, and see where we end up given the time frame or the period that we've given ourselves. So I think we're learning a really big lesson when it comes to that, is that things are bad, things don't look good quite now. Right now it's bleak, but if you find at the end of 2 years, similar to the Lobola challenge, that you're up almost about 200%, you'll ask yourself why, or how did you do it, and most of the time people only see those results at the end, whereas there was a lot of work, there was downtime and pain that you had to endure in order for you to actually reach that place. So I would say a big lesson that we should keep taking from this is that even though things are down, let's be consistent. And I think with that as well, and I think the main point of this video is that so far Graham Stephan is right, kind of, because based off of what we've looked at so far, what has done the best for us, or what has been the best product so far, is the S&P 500. But as I said, I didn't contribute to it as consistently as I was supposed to. And actually, if we come on over here to this chart here from fundsdata.co.za, I've got these three products that I can do, which is the Old Mutual Global Equity Fund, the S&P 500 from Satrix, and the not Satrix from Sygnia, and the Satrix JSE Top 40, which is essentially what we're invested in with Franc. And based off of this, actually, so far everything I've been saying to everyone is wrong. that, you know, Franc is the worst, because it looks to be quite significantly up. This is now 6 months, so it's kind of dating it before we started on the 28th, but it's okay, same difference. But so far it's actually saying, you know, that this is done quite a lot better, the top 40 versus the other two guys, which definitely could be the case, but I think it's, yeah, leaving out a bit of things. But you also see as well that the old mutual is actually above the Satrix, and this is where you'd kind of ask yourself, but then how is the actual values that we have different from this? And that is kind of what I'm trying to show you, is that you know, on paper or based off of this, you know, Franc and, you know, the unit trust should be doing better, but because of the fees that are, you know, hidden and entrenched within these things, you end up losing quite a bit of money, you know, based off of that, because so far, you know, the cheapest product of these all is doing a lot better than these other two guys. So that goes to show you that you really are paying quite a premium when you're using things like Franc, when you're using unit trust versus an ETF. So keep that in mind as well. But basically what I'm getting at is that based off of our results so far, Graham Stephan has been correct that all you need to do is take your money, put it into something that tracks the index, and completely forget about that, you know, because so far our S&P 500 is doing a lot less bad, you know, than the other two products that we had. And it's kind of a sad result to get to, and it's you know, boring information that we all know and we've all seen, but so far it has been the truth in what we've experienced on this challenge so far. And yeah, with that, I think this is where I'm going to leave the video. I will say, you know, look out for the upcoming episodes of this series, where, you know, I deep dive into each of these individual things, things being the products that we have, kind of explain why we went there, how we got there, and what our experience has been so far, you know, and how you can maybe, you know, try to get involved with something similar in the future. But yeah, it's been your boy Prom Jimani, iStraight Lendaba.